Well, hello, my planner friends. Thank you for joining me. It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I thought I'd do a quick review of my planner beginning with mid-January toward the end of the month. And a real quick disclaimer, if you hear any snoring, it would be my little Morky, who is part Yorkie, part Maltese, sitting behind me on my chair like a cat and snoring away. Listen. I don't know if you can hear that on the video, but anyway, so let's start with the review. This is a personal size Webster's Pages in neutral, and I really like the neutral because it goes with anything. As a matter of fact, I already have February set up, and I've got a completely different dividers and so on and so forth for it. So I'm looking forward to getting started in February and giving you guys a review of how I have that set up. But just to recap, I was struggling a little bit when I decided to downsize to the personal size. Prior to that, I had been using all DIY fish inserts, which I really adore. They're extremely functional and efficient. However, they weren't working for me for the daily pages just because of the border that Fish has going around her daily pages. So I purchased Annie Plans inserts and for the daily pages, and I'm liking those. I went ahead and used the Annie Plans monthly calendar that comes with the daily pages, as well as her tracker page. But starting in February, I am going back to the DIY Fish trifold pullout. I really enjoy it all being on one page and not having the binder break in the middle. And you know, the calendar, the DIY Fish calendar, looks pretty much the same. Again, because it's a pullout, there's not the break. So I enjoy that much better. But in terms of functionality, they're pretty much the same. All right, so let's go to the daily pages. I have in a previous video reviewed what I had done thus far. So let me show you last week, and then I'll show you how I have this coming week set up. So on the Annie Plans, the very first page is this week on one page, and it's got this flip, which I really like because on this flip you can do different, put different things that are important to you. Maybe it's a quote or whatever, but for me, I have it as my reminder of the people that I want to contact each week, and I was remiss this week and didn't do it. I did do my Bible study though, and this down here, I had the idea that I'll put either a word for the week or a scripture that I want to focus on, but I didn't do it last week, so shame on me. But I did have a pretty busy week last week. So in addition, everybody that knows me knows that I do my Bible study as part of my planner, because when I have that blank Bible study page looking at me all day long while I'm working, before I even leave my home office, I pull out my Bible and I do my Bible study. So it's a constant reminder and a focus of mine that I need to do my Bible study for the day. So I just inserted some blank pages in between the Annie Plans setup, and I do my Bible study on it. And because the Monday is on a right, I just did a doodle on the very front page of the Bible study so that when I open it up, it's set up right. So I have all my components that are important to me in planning, and that is, of course, the to-dos. And I used to have a schedule here, but because I am now putting the schedule on the week part, the week on one day of the Annie Plans Printables, I am now using this section as like a little mini journaling section. And then, of course, I have my inspirational quote and my daily affirmation and what I'm grateful for. I always do the weather and my mood. So I'll continue to flip on through. One other thing I'd like to share with you is I'm learning calligraphy, And right now I'm self-taught, but I did find a class around here in Nashville that is going to start in January, I believe it is, by a master calligrapher. And so I'm really looking forward to that, to getting some professional instruction, because I just don't know how to even get started with the flourishing and everything. You can only go so far on your own, so I'm really looking forward to getting some instruction. But you do need daily practice in forming your letters and so on and so forth. And so I thought, well, what better way, since I'm doing a lot of writing every day anyway for my Bible study, why not do it in calligraphy? And so I literally, I found this paper off of Amazon. If you guys are interested, leave a message and let me know. I'll put a link, but it's Handy Forms on is the supplier, and it's on Amazon, and it was just the personal size grid paper. And it's thick enough that I can use calligraphy ink, and I do use a calligraphy oblique holder with a nib and dip it in the ink. And look, it doesn't bleed through. So how fortunate is that? So I do my calligraphy daily, so it's great. I do my planning, my journaling, my calligraphy, my Bible study. I get somewhat artistic with the stickers, which I really enjoy, so I'm just a happy camper. All right, so there you go. There's Tuesday and Wednesday with my Bible study. There is Thursday and Friday with my Bible study. And Saturday and, let me get that out of the way, Sunday. Now I'm recording on Sunday afternoon, so I have not finished filling out Sunday yet at this point. I slept late. I've just been enjoying my morning, and so anyway, I haven't been doing that. One thing I did want to mention before I move on is you'll notice that there's some stickers throughout. When the week is done and I have completed my week, I will go back in and maybe put some decoration like this here. If there's something pertinent, I'll put it in, but I'll fill in some of the blank space with some stickers, just because I like that look. Some people prefer a lot of white space. I'm not one of them. I like the stickers and everything. So that's what's wonderful about having planners, is we can do them the way we like them, and don't compare yourself to anybody else. Do what you like to do and make yourself happy. And if other people like it, that's wonderful. But if they don't, that's okay too. So anyway, there you go. So I fill out my week, and then I come back at the end of the week and I might fill in with some stickers as appropriate to the theme or the mood or whatever. All right, so let me show you next week. The one thing about the Annie Plans flap that I like too is it's kind of a holder for the entire week. So you can, you could do all your weeks way ahead, keep them folded up in here, nice and neat, and unfold them when you are ready for them. So anyway, here is my next week. Again, I have my people that I want to contact weekly. There are some people in my life that, we just talk several times a week without any thought. But there are other people in my life that will get extremely busy, and time can go by without talking to them. And I just made a promise to myself that I wanted to reach out to the people that were important to me on a weekly basis. Whether I call them or email them or text them, I always want them to know that I'm thinking about them and love them and miss them, etc. So I make it a point to do a contact list. And last week I had a lot going on and I was very remiss. I was sick. I had the flu, so I didn't feel like doing a whole lot of talking. But anyway, for the most part, I've been sticking to this really well, and because one of my goals for living a level 10 life in 2017 was improving my relationships with those family and friends that I love dearly. So that's why I do that. And then this week I really want to figure out what the word or the scripture is that I wanted to focus on and fill that out. If I don't, then I don't need to be doing that. It's not necessary. So I fill in with the standard meetings that I have each week. When I log on for work tomorrow, the first thing I do is look at my calendar, and I see all of the calendar invites that people have sent me, and so I'll fill out my week. If I make any doctor's appointments or like a massage or nails or any of that kind of stuff, I'll fill it out. But this is the standard stuff, so when I'm setting up, that's the kind of stuff I put in. All right, so let's get started. This is my doodle page on the first page of my Bible study. There's my Bible study. Here's Monday. Again, I have all the components, but it's kind of, in my opinion, blank because, of course, the week hasn't started and all of the chaos that ensues. So there is Tuesday and Wednesday. And you know, it's really interesting. I want to make a note here. When I do my setup, I put in my daily affirmations, and I have a list of affirmations. I'll show you. I have a bullet journal section in my planner, and like my daily affirmations, or do I have? Oh, right there, page 21 and 23. So 21 and 20. Okay, look. So here are my daily affirmations. In reading the Miracle Morning and that kind of a thing, I made a list of affirmations, and so I pull from that list. And when I'm setting up my calendar for the next week, I'll put the daily affirmation in. And what's interesting, and this is the point I wanted to make, is it's amazing because when that day comes around and you're going through the day and everything that's happening, and I look at those, they seem to be so appropriate for the day and what's going on at that time. It's amazing how it works out like that. So I really like doing the daily affirmations. And the other thing is, if I'm constantly looking at positive messages and positive affirmations and inspirational quotes and all that kind of thought things, those are the thoughts that are going on in my mind. And what we focus on, or it is what let me say this right. What we focus on is what consumes us, right? So I want what I focus on to be positive and loving, rather than negative and telling myself, oh, I don't look this way, or I don't compare to that person, or I don't have this particular thing. I don't want to live my life like that anymore. I did that for a very, very long time. And getting divorced 6 years ago, and my son growing up and moving out of the house, I feel like emotionally I've been able to focus on me and developing me. And that is the decision that I arrived to in this last year. So that's been my focus. Anyway, moving on. Here's Thursday, and there's Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. And I purposely try on these facing pages to kind of keep the color theme the same. I know I didn't on this one, and I didn't like it. This one right here, where I did purple and gold, I didn't like it. That just somehow not having that symmetry really bothered me. So I want to make sure going forward that when I have facing pages, I'm going to use the same color scheme. Because again, I'll be taking out this Bible study page and putting it in another binder for future reference. So there you go, there's Saturday and Sunday. And just one last thing I wanted to share with you. Since I moved into this smaller planner, I have been finding that, you have smaller space to work with, and I have always tended to be a big writer, and in my planner I do carry this Frixion pen all the time just because it has the three colors, red, black, and blue, which are the main colors I use. And I love Frixion pens because you can write and erase. And I don't like, that's one of the things I struggle with calligraphy, I don't like writing something and having a line through it and it look nasty. And so you'll often see white out. I don't know if that's any better than lining out something, but I don't like the line outs. Well, anyway, I found these Frixion pens. So I've got tons of colors here. And these are a 0.038. So these are really tiny. You see that? So you can write, let's see, can I zoom? You can get a lot in here with such tiny pens. And as I was doing my flip through, you might have seen, oh, now my camera won't let me zoom back out. Sorry about that. You might have seen when I was doing my flip through, like in the journal section, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that's such a small section to be doing any journaling. But with these small pens, it really makes it possible. So I can fit a lot in on these personal size pages, because as you know, personal size pages are only 3.75 inches wide by 6.75 inches wide. So I strongly recommend these Frixion pens if you think that these might appeal to you. I found these on Amazon. They're not that expensive at all, very affordable, and they just have this like rubber tip, and it's the friction, the heat, that erases the ink. Now, one thing I just want to warn you about: if you were to take your planner with you and leave it in your car on a hot day for long enough, the heat would actually make your ink disappear. But don't fret, whoops, because you could put it in the freezer or the refrigerator for a few minutes, and the cold will bring your writing back. So if that ever if you buy these and that ever happens to you, don't freak out thinking that you lost everything. Just put your planner or whatever it is you've written on, your notebook, into something cold, and your writing will come back. However, one caveat to that: if you've done a lot of writing and erased and then written over it, it all comes back. So keep that in mind. Those, just being transparent with you, those are that's the downside of having these pens. For me, I don't see it as a problem. But if you store, one thing to think about though is if you plan on storing your planner, you know, I don't say you have years of planners and you store them and think you can put them in the attic, which I would never recommend putting paper in the attic, but just as an example, the heat in your attic would not be good for your, they're not good for your pages anyway, but they wouldn't be good for the ink if you use Frixion ink. So keep that in mind. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you spending these last few minutes with me. And I did kind of ramble a bit, so I apologize for that. But I hope you have a wonderful week and a blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.